My doctor, your health anytime, anywhere. Hello, lovely viewers. How are you? Hope you're fine. My name is Mwesigwa Joy, and I am your host. This is the My Doctor podcast, and I'm really happy to have you here. So last week we had an episode with the UCU Cancer Society, and we talked a lot about cancer. And guess what? This episode is also about cancer, and so I am here with someone, a beautiful lady from UCU Cancer Society, who I'm going to give a chance to introduce herself. Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, so could you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Hi, everyone. My name is Kamwine Jenny. I'm the president of the UCU Cancer Society, as you heard in the last episode. Yeah.
So for today, we have a switch up. Yeah. So for today, I'm not going to be your host. Jenny is going to be your host. So we're going to have a cancer survivor on board. So remember last time we talked about cancer. We had Mr. Fado who told us his experience with a cancer patient. Now we have brought a cancer patient to you, a survivor, to tell you what she went through and how the journey has been from the time of diagnosis through the treatment and how is she right now. So Miss Jenny, who is the president of the UCU Cancer Society, will be interviewing her, and I cannot wait for her story. Stay tuned. My doctor, your health anytime, anywhere.
Hey everyone, as Joy mentioned, today I'll be your host, and I'm Kamwine Jenny, the president of the UCU Cancer Society, and I'll be glad to take you through this episode. So in today's episode, we have a very beautiful, intelligent lady who I am excited to introduce you guys to. So Desire, hi, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Could you please give us an introduction of yourself?
Okay. My name is Desire Namazzi. Desire. 24. I was born in July. 4th July. Is that okay?
It's very okay.
I'm currently at Makerere University. I'm doing psychology. I'm doing social sciences, but majoring in psychology, minoring in sociology. In my final year.
Wow.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank you so much. So, Desire, you see here, she has been able to be among the few people who have battled the most dangerous and tragic things that we are facing in Uganda. And I just want her to take us through and, so she can tell us how it is. So, Desire, take us through your journey of cancer and generally what we have to know.
Okay. So it was 2021. I was at MOBS at the time.
Yeah.
In my second sem or first sem, I think.
Okay.
I think second sem. I've forgotten. Yeah, so it started with having headaches. I used to have headaches. I'd take painkillers, nothing. Then I'd have night sweats.
Okay.
Like I would sleep and wake up and it's like poured a bucket of water in my bed.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then fatigue. I just generally used to feel really bad. Yeah, then I went to like that's a bit of an expression.
Yeah.
I went to a number of medical centers, hospitals as well. And they kept telling me bacterial infection.
Oh.
Yeah. Some of them even told me malaria. So, I first got sick in March, and then it kind of went away when I went home because I was at hostel.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I went back to school, it came back, that feeling horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was even swollen. I had swollen lymph nodes, like my neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one day, I think I felt horrible. I remember feeling so bad. I had just bought a Rolex for supper.
Oh dear.
And I took like one bite and I just threw up and I was feeling horrible.
Yeah.
And this was after the lockdown, the second lock. No, this was April
Yeah.
21. So we still had curfew.
True.
But I was feeling horrible. So I called my mom. It's like, I really need to go to the hospital. I feel bad because I had thrown up. And I had not thrown up before. Yeah, so I felt horrible. So that's when I went to Platinum Hospital. And they had a blood sample taken. And we had to wait 2 hours for the results to come back. So like 2, okay, they give us an option to come the next day or
Wait.
I wanted to wait. So like 2, the doctor calls and we go into his office and he asks my mom, have you had any malignancies in your family before?
Okay.
And she starts shaking because
Yeah, the sound of it.
Yeah. So for me on my side, when you say that, I have a cousin who is a doctor. So I had sent her like my results, and she told me this looks bad. It could be leukemia or lymphoma. Okay. So when she told me, I go search about
those different things. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. So when the doctor says that, and my mom is,
tense,
shivering. For me, when he said that, I was like, okay, this could be cancer. It's okay. And anyway, most of my friends who know me from high school, they know I have always been afraid that I might get cancer.
Really? Like, it has always been at the back of your mind? Or?
Yeah, but that's because people in my family have had cancer. And, yeah. So I was always like, oh man, I might get cancer too. But like at 87, not at 21.
Not at 20, I get you.
Yeah, so after that, he said we get the biopsy, the bone marrow biopsy, to be sure, to check if it's cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was told that same week on Sunday, that's a new week. It was Sunday, and that's when my mom, my cousin, she's like my big sister, and my aunt, she's like my second mom. She's a doctor, so he came. They told me, we sat down Sunday night. They told me, so we found, they found leukemia. It's, and then my aunt, she explains. She's like, I know you guys go to Google, and it scares you, and it's etc. Yeah, so she tells me you have acute lymphocytic leukemia.
Okay.
She explains it's a fast-growing cancer. I had like my my white blood cells were like 100,000, and yet the normal is 4,000. Yeah. So it was a
massive.
Yeah. So she explained it to me. It's very it's one of the, I think that is healing. Like it's one of the
those that you can heal from.
Yeah. Yeah. High chances. Yeah, so when they told me, I was just like, okay,
Just taking it slowly.
Not even, because my cousin had told me.
Yeah.
And let's say it's all time I expected to get it, so I think they expected to have a different reaction. Because they all looked at me, and I was like, okay. Yeah. So that's when they asked me, do you have a question? What can you...
Okay.
It was actually just my aunt speaking. Because my sister, let me call my sister. My sister and my mom were just red eyes. Just looking at me.
Sorry. So, basically, so how did this diagnosis, how was it on your friends and basically on your lifestyle? How did it change the way you did your things?
Yeah.
Generally, take us how it changed you, like how you see yourself becoming into doing things differently because they've told you you're a cancer patient.
Well, I think at first it really did not look like, oh man, so you still have cancer.
Yeah.
Because first of all, my biggest worry is my hair. I was losing my hair.
Bro.
Yeah. Like even after they told me, do you have a question? I was like, am I going to lose my hair? But personally, I felt like I'm not going to die.
That's good.
Because I felt like that would be very dramatic of me to die.
Too dramatic.
Yeah. So obviously, my friends, they thought I would die. Yeah, some of them called crying. And it would be me telling them, no, it's
It was
okay.
you comforting them.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's okay. Cancer is just a death sentence. I'm going to be fine. Don't worry. You can imagine.
I literally, I can see it, what you went through.
Yeah, but okay, so when they told me, my parents asked me, where do you want to live when you're doing the chemo?
Yeah.
So at first it hadn't really, so I was like, I can't go back to hostel and I do the chemo.
You were so free.
They were like, no, you have to be in a clean environment. I was like, we can't be clean, you know?
Yeah,
No,
like we can improvise.
no, like, no. So I had to make a choice to live
Yeah.
with my mom, with my aunt, or my cousins. I was like, I live with my cousins. So in the morning, you know, it was with my cousins. I had to start chemo the next day.
Yeah.
So it was come and go every day. I was an outpatient. So let me say that very first month, me and my cousins, we used to go. If my friends were coming to see me, they had to have like a COVID test or distance,
yeah.
or a mask, because you know COVID was still a thing.
I think, yeah, true.
Yeah. But then, like with my cousins, of course, everybody had to first test to be next to me. So we'd like play, like as I'm getting chemo, we were like playing card games or, you know, my cousins, actually, I think that's why I wasn't even really depressed, and, you know, because it was just fun all the time.
That's
We'd be like,
pretty.
on the weekend, we'd be like, hey, where should we go? You get, yeah.
It was never a sad, dull moment.
Never a dull moment. Even those things when your relatives call and they're like, how is the sick person? What they'd be like, this is not a sick person.
Bro.
She's not.
Literally.
Yeah, so, or if it's like a hard day, they'd be like, because I used to get chemo. There's a specific chemo that I'd get weekly that was for my spine. Yeah, so, and you know, I'm afraid of injections. Of course, every day was for fighting to get
For the injection.
So it was now that chemo that those days would be so bad. I remember it was every Thursday. So that's extra crying. They're putting me under anesthesia. I'm fighting. What?
Yeah.
So it's those days that they'd be like, okay, we shall go get pizza after this. We shall go do this. Yeah.
That was sweet.
Yeah. So with my cousins, I think it was a very, like, thank God I lived with them because it was fun. It was really fun. Yeah. So that was just the first month though.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah. And
And for school, did you proceed or?
Well, I tried because I was thinking I don't want to fall behind. Everyone in my year is studying, and I'm here in cancer things. Yeah, so I tried. I pushed my parents, and then they were like, "Okay, you get a tutor."
Home tutor.
Yeah. So now when I had got the tutor, it was like my first month. Yeah. So after the first month of chemo, there's the first cycle. Call it first cycle.
Yeah.
After the first cycle, our doctor told us the chemo was very aggressive, so they're going to have to intensify the chemo. Yeah, and then he told us you should even start preparing to go to India for a transplant.
Yeah.
It was our best option otherwise. Yeah, so now by the time we got the tutor, they had started that intense chemo. So that's when I started getting weak. All those things you see cancer patients having, vomiting. I could not eat because of, you know, sore throat.
Yeah.
So much happened. I got diarrhea. I got constipation. I had never got constipation in my life. It was, the second cycle was just horrible. I don't remember a lot of it actually. Yeah, it's my parents and cousins that tell me, do you remember when this? I'm like, what? That happened? No, I don't. Yeah.
So basically the tutor didn't end up tutoring like that.
Yeah, we met once, and that was the day I was feeling so bad. I almost like fainted. And then we found out it's because my blood was very low.
It was very low.
Yeah.
Did you have support from organizations, or did you get any external support besides friends and family that maybe would, you know, once they get patients, they could also offer support too? Could take us through their details?
I won't lie. I'm not really I'm not conversant with what went into the fundraising.
Yeah.
I just know that my family.
Yeah, I remember we had a drive.
Yes, they applied. They applied to places. They applied to organizations. I know National Drug Authority contributed 5 million.
That's amazing.
Yes. That's just one of the organizations that I know helped.
Yeah.
But I think also generally my family and the people they knew, and my friends and the people they knew.
Definitely.
It was generally social capital. It was social capital, and it was strangers. Now, strangers, those ones,
They have your head.
like, they don't know me, they did not know me. But remember, now actually by this time it's the second lockdown. So no one is working. This is the lockdown when people were dying. People were dying, people were not working. But somehow when we started the fundraising on, I remember, 3rd June, by the time we had to go to India, that's end of July, we had that money. And like, it's one thing that really gets me. Like, people are so good. People had nowhere to get their money, but they donated, and they told me about this one person, I'll never forget, who donated every single day. They did not have that much money. They donated even like 700 shillings, 2,000 every day. They just made sure they sent money. Like, it's things like that make me emotional. Yeah. Because you just think about how good people are, how much they care. People kept calling my parents every day, how is she today? We don't know these people.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
God's favorite for real.
Yeah. God's favorite for real. Like,
never go down. That's really amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us about those gestures that, the different fundraising was good, but those small little gestures, that messages that you would have wanted to get, maybe you didn't get, but if you take a step back and you look at and be like, oh, if somebody did this, oh, I'll be so happy. Like, what gestures do you think someone going through what you went through would actually want? Because people can have different mindsets of, oh, she might want this, but you are the person in it. Tell us what you want, or what you got that you felt that made a big and huge difference to the way you were seeing life and generally everything.
Okay, me? Okay. To be honest, I feel like I got everything.
Yeah,
I got, it was all generally my psychosocial support. It was the people around me trying to always having a positive attitude, even in times when it looked like I was going. They were like, no, bro. You are here to stay.
Period.
I cannot even complain. Like, I got everything that I needed, everything I wanted. And it's just, I feel like when somebody gets such a diagnosis, you have cancer, it's what I always tell people who reach out and they are in such a situation. Surround yourself with people who love you.
True.
Because they are the ones who are going to carry you through that. I don't get people who are going to remind you, hey man, you're sick. No.
Don't do this, don't do that.
With my cousins, I really saw my parents, by the way, because you know how parents are.
They get
for them,
so
they
stressed.
are worried. My cousins, they made sure it wasn't, oh, she's sick.
Topic. It was never a topic.
Exactly. Like, they always did the most to get that our minds off of that. Even when I got COVID, I did not know I got COVID until like last year. They were like, hey man, you got COVID when you were sick. Because they were just telling me, let's walk around. But if they had told me
within that time, it would have been worse.
I realized mental health
is key.
It's paramount.
It's true.
Very, very, very key.
So literally love is a key thing, and we should embrace love, guys. Embrace love. So after cancer, tell us how life changed, how you felt when they gave you the news. Like, what came into your head when they were like, you're now cancer-free, Desire? And when was this, by the way? When was this? And what occasions had happened just right after that? Like, was it after surgery, immediately?
Okay. Well, for me to get that transplant, I had to first be free of cancer. Like, my body, 0 cancer cells. So that was, I remember it was 29th July. My doctor told me, oh, by the way, because I used to do biopsies all the time. He told me, oh, by the way, your last biopsy, you have no cancer cells in your body.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, wow, okay. But then now we had to go to India for bone marrow transplant because it was 2 choices, either the transplant or bridging chemo for like 2 years. And he was like, bro, I don't think you should take that. So let's just go and get the transplant. So remember we had got the money.
Yeah.
People are so good. So good. When I went to India, we went 1st August. We came back 22nd December. So there for a very long time. But by the time we went, we thought we'd come back in October. So I had my transplant a month later after reaching India. That's 4th September. And I had so many side effects from it. I wanted to just reverse it.
Oh.
Yeah, there were horrible side effects. Yeah. And a lot of the time I felt suicidal because of the side effects I was getting from the transplant. India generally wasn't a good place for me. I think about it and it's PTSD.
It's very
PTSD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and even like one of my cousins was getting married. So you're in India, you are stuck in a room, you can't leave. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's when I even got like really skinny. Yeah. And then when I came back to Uganda, in India, I was barely eating. I was throwing up everything. And that was even right till we got on the plane to Uganda. Even in the plane back, I threw up. But we got back here, and the very first meal I ate, the very first day, I only threw up like twice. And my mom was so confused because she was with her in India.
Yeah.
So she was even telling my cousins because, everybody was around. But she was telling them, don't give us things to eat. She's going to vomit. And I barely did. And my hair even started growing back. It had stopped growing. It's immediately that very first week. Yeah, it started growing back.
I think environment was key. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. Even my doctor in India, he told my mom, he was like, you leave her. It's just her mental health. When you guys go back, she's going to be just fine.
So it was something with the brain stimulation. Everything was just in the head.
Everything was in the head.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I learned, first of all, is we need to take care of ourselves. We need of our mental health. It's a very, very, very important thing. It's very important because you can see it was affecting my physical,
Yeah.
I wasn't eating, my hair wasn't growing, etc. Yeah, I also learned that don't take life too seriously, man. Don't take life too seriously.
Yeah.
Because I was there, I was sick.
Yeah.
When I was bedridden, I'd be there and I'm thinking, okay, what if you die? What have you done?
Sure.
You get I'd be at hostel, people going out, I'm like, no, I'll stay in. What have you done? Have you enjoyed your life? Those are things I just ask myself. Yeah, so I realized don't take life too seriously. But also life is short. Life is short. It's so short.
Yeah.
Life is so short. You guys, just know that life is short. Just do something. If you tell yourself, I'll get it next time. Get it now.
Sure.
Yeah, things are it's not that deep, by the way. It's just life. So that's the new perspective it gave me on life.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you told me you run an organization as well that does awareness and support for cancer patients. Take us through that and what made you, want to, because people after possibly having cancer, they'll be like, okay, now I've gotten my life back. Where did I stop? It's, before I cut short again,
Oh, okay.
What pushed you to actually continue and give and, do that outreach and charity?
Well, it was when I came back, I used to have monthly reviews just to check, is the transplant working, etc. So this one time we went, I was with my mom and we're waiting to take my BS. Then one of the nurses came around the ward. There are two wards. There's an inpatient and the outpatient. So there's a child at the outpatient who needed transport to go back home because she needed palliative care. Chemo had refused. All the medicine had refused, so she needed to go home, to...
Just palliative care and prep her.
So she comes around the ward. She's from that side, from the inpatient ward. She's in the outpatient now. She's asking for some money, the nurse, for that family to go back home. And it was just 50,000 shillings. But by the time she reached us, me and my mom, it was like 30 something.
Yeah.
But she has gone through so many people. And then I was like, so I gave her 10 because I had 10 on me. My mom gave her the other 10. And it left me thinking. I was like, wait, I know people who use 50,000 in what? Less than an hour.
Literally.
You get, like, I was like, I know people who are privileged enough to use this money in minutes, in a week, and she's going around asking for money and she has coins. So I was like, why don't, like, obviously that's not the only person with a problem at the world. And so that's when I decided I can reach out to these people, my friends, even just my friends, my family. I can reach out to them to support, to give donations. Yeah. So that's what pushed me to start. That was, I remember it was January 2023. It was my January review. No, sorry, it was my January hospital review. Then I told myself, for Valentine's, I'm going to open it and I'm going to collect money for these people. Yes. My other second reason I opened it was to give back. So many people gave to
strangers,
me. And there's no way I can find each and every person and say thank you. Like, I wish I genuinely wish I could. But I was like, you know what, let me give back. I received, I need to give back.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so that's I do that for them. So that's, with time I was like, let's also do in kind. So it's money, it's clothes, it's toys, it's shoes.
Literally.
People keep these things for their children. So these guys need them.
Yeah. So basically, people, it's just the small things. It's food, clothes, toys. Mental health is key. So we need these things to help these cancer patients get through, because they need emotional support, physical support, anything possible to give them that hope to know that cancer is curable. So Desire, would you, as we end this podcast, would you want to give us a take home and, what people can go with to end this podcast and know that, I left this interview knowing that when I do this and do this, I can make a difference in someone's life?
Okay. First of all, my message is cancer is not a death sentence. When you hear somebody has cancer, don't think, time to bury has come. No. They can go through, you have to keep a positive attitude. I know it's not easy, but you just have to do it for that person. You have to encourage them, because that also helps a lot in their process of healing. And don't take your life for granted, but also life is not that deep. Appreciate the people around you. And there's life after cancer. I started school again. I went back to school. And I'm doing something that I actually love, something that I wanted to do.
That's beautiful.
I'm so grateful. And genuinely, for me, I believe it's God.
Yeah.
It's God who made those people contribute in 2 months 200 million. At a time when they were not working. I believe it's God. Don't be afraid to lean on people. Just
give it a shot and see how it works out.
Yeah, you just appreciate the people around you, because man, life is very unexpected. Like, who would have thought I would have got cancer?
For sure.
Yeah, to this day, like right now, I can even feel like it's a fever dream. Like, bro, I had cancer. Like, I have friends, we can just randomly be like, oh man, you had cancer. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But now imagine I had died, So right now, if my friends call me out, I'll be there. Just take life by the neck. And
enjoy to the fullest.
Enjoy life, and be thankful and grateful for your life.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming to share this experience with us. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your story. And I hope it goes out to anyone who wants to hear exactly what you've said, because I believe this message has to touch someone, 1 or 2 people, and we shall be able to share this. And we are so happy for the audience that is listening right now. I remain your host for just a short time. Jenny Kamwine, the president of UCU Cancer Society.
My doctor, your health anytime, anywhere.